Hello and welcome to Fit to Box channel. Please like and subscribe and don't forget to jab that notifications bell for all my latest uploads. Today we have got a video on what is a puncher's glove. So fight gloves, when it comes to boxing, all gloves are not the same. Okay, so originally when they were doing fight gloves, what they would do to get the right weight, whether it be 8 ounce or 10 ounce, they would measure out some horsehair and that would be put into the gloves, and that is how they got the weight of the glove. So you'd have a situation whereby the gloves were just filled with horsehair. Now you don't have any gloves that are 100% just horsehair, but you do have gloves that they call puncher's gloves, which are majority horsehair and perhaps a very thin layer of foam. Then you have more protective gloves where it's actually layered foam in there which protects the hands. So let's just go through about puncher's gloves. So this glove here, as you can see, this is a new glove. This is an Everlast MX glove, and as you can see from what it looks like an old glove, but it's not. It is a new glove, and there is a reason why it looks like an old glove. It's because of that padding that is in there, that very soft padding. So right against the actual hand, against the lining, there is a very thin layer of foam, and then all the rest is horsehair. So you can see a really soft, malleable glove there. Now this one is based on Clayton Reyes traditional pro fight gloves, and they are horsehair, exactly the same makeup as these. These are based on those gloves. The Everlast MX are a favourite puncher's glove of many professionals. The same with the Clayton Reyes. In the background, obviously, we've got Manny Pacquiao. He liked to wear Clayton Reyes traditional horsehair puncher's gloves. And as you can see in the background, we've also got Floyd, him there wearing sort of an orthopedic foam, more protective for his hands. So when it comes to these gloves, let's just bring it round. Most companies will do sort of a type of puncher's glove. They'll also do a type of protective glove for boxers as well, and some companies even do one in the middle. So let me just move them to one side and show you these. This is typical really. You've got here from Phenom, that's the more protective glove there. You can see from the padding there's like a laminated outer, you can feel the padding inside, and then they've got a softer version, which as you can see there is their soft version. Now with theirs, that is, if I put that to one side, you can see the Everlast MX, how much less filled that glove is in comparison to Phenom's, which again is a soft glove, but nowhere near like that. Okay, it really does feel very underfilled, and yet it's a sanctioned fight glove, the same as Clayton Reyes puncher's gloves as well. Okay, so this one here, this is a bit like the rival SFE version, and this one is a bit like the rival HDE version. So you've got these companies where they've got a more protective and they've got the softer puncher's gloves. So let's move that out the way. When it comes to these gloves here, so these are, as I've said, horsehair and then foam. You can see straight away that obviously there is some foam here around the thumb, and you can see that bump that has been seen on many photos in the Tyson Fury footage, where they've got like a bevel, and that comes about because you have got this bit here that is protecting the thumb. So that's to stop being jabbed in the eye. So you've got the thumb attachment, you've got the thumb, and you've got this lump here that means that it's harder to be thumbed in the eye. What that does, of course, is it creates a little bit of a bevel. So sometimes when you see people wearing gloves like this, especially if they've been punching things or people, it does look like there is a bevel. I'll put that glove on in a minute. The same is for this glove here. Again, you can see there's this sort of built up area here, and once you start to hit things, it sort of bevels there as well. Okay, so let me show you. So these are the gloves that Tyson Fury wore in #1 against Wilder. In fight number 2 against Wilder, he wore Paffin Sports gloves, but again, a very similar type of glove to this. So again, it looked old, it looked like it had been used loads, it looked beat up. People saying that it's an old glove. It wasn't an old glove. It's as you see. If it's a brand new foam glove, you can see it looks totally untouched when it comes to how the leather is sort of stretched and how the leather is filled out by the padding that is underneath. On this one, it's not filled out at all. On this one, it is. So let's just show you those fights. There you go. When it comes to the punch surfaces there, and so Tyson Fury wore Everlast MX in fight number 1. Deontay Wilder has wore MX in the past himself. Okay, so if anyone out there is thinking, oh, how did Fury get to wear them gloves? He shouldn't have wore them. And there's quite a few people that have been knocked out by Deontay Wilder wearing a pair of Everlast MX, albeit in different colour schemes with his customisation on. So Everlast's model that they do for the more protective is Everlast Powerlock. They've got a couple of different versions as well. They've got the Everlast Pro Elite as well, which is kind of in the middle. But the Powerlock is the glove that Deontay Wilder wore in both fights against Fury. So as you can see, let me put this glove on for you. This glove, I've put this on, so I've put my Fortress hand wrap on. And I've put the Fortress tape on there as well, and that is so I've built up the hand quite big. This is the biggest Fortress wraps that I've got, so I can show you as I put them into this glove how snug these gloves are. Pulling that there. Normally you'd have a trainer that would be helping you into the glove with those, and of course then once you're in, that would get pulled together like so, and obviously taped, all that being watched, as I've said before in previous videos, all that being watched by not only someone from the opposition camp, but also the commission's inspector. So there you go. You can see that there, where you can see that bevel. I've only hit it a couple of times there. There is the punch surface. As you can see how flat that goes very, very quickly. That will be taped up at the rear, but look at that there. There's not that much padding. And people say, well, how can these be a sanctioned glove? And they are a sanctioned glove. And as I say, a lot of professionals do prefer them. And it's about damage. They want to cause damage. Boxing is about entertainment, it's about knockouts, it's about damage, and so a lot of fighters, if their hands are strong enough, they like these because they can get that more damage, they can get the knockouts, and of course we all love to see knockouts as well. If boxing was sort of all big sort of padded gloves there and we hardly saw any knockouts and we wasn't seeing any build-up of damage, from an entertainment point of view, from a fan, you know, it would be very much like amateur boxing, which amateur boxing, although I love amateur boxing, is not as exciting as pro boxing, and the gloves have something to do with that as well. So as you can see, really soft in there. I'll show you, see how that is almost like I'm trying to just show you how flat that punch surface goes from sort of being punched. Let me take those off and show you the same thing with the Paffin Sports glove. So there was some channels that said that, well, they were referring to my Paffin Sport review and saying that this was the same as Tyson Fury's Paffin Sport glove, the green one in the second fight, and that simply is incorrect. It's not true. They're totally different types of padding. This is sort of the favoured glove for Vladimir Klitschko. He likes the padded ones, and of course the ones that Fury was wearing were a custom pair of Paffin Sports, very much the same as this one. And you can see, anybody looking at that who knows anything about boxing would know that those are totally different gloves. You cannot confuse this glove and that glove. They're totally different when it comes to the padding. And anybody that says that they are the same is pulling your leg, or they are very, very misguided, because there's absolutely no way that these feel the same or even look the same. So again, I'm just going to tighten these up like so. You'd have your corner man who'd be doing this for you. Again, you can see that bevel there, and that's on the padded version as well. But it certainly doesn't crease up in the same way as the MX. Okay, so let me just bring these off. So the puncher's gloves can be a controversial glove. The MX in particular is a controversial glove. At one time it was banned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Okay, and also this is the same gloves that Mayweather didn't want to fight Maidana in. I think he had to pay him over $1 million for Maidana not to wear his sort of custom flag Everlast MX, because it was a sanctioned glove. So even though he didn't want him to wear it, he still had to make a cash concession, because Maidana wasn't doing anything wrong by wearing them. As I say, Deontay Wilder has wore MX himself in the past. I'll just bring that there. And the fact that it looks so old, to the untrained eye, you might think that it is an old glove, but it's not. It is just how it is. And also, when people are sort of using these, you know, if Tyson Fury at 19 stone is hitting you in a pair of these, it is going to hurt. It is going to cause swellings. Anybody who's 19 stone punching someone else, it is going to hurt. There's no way you can turn around and say that a 19 stone man is not a puncher, especially when he's a professional boxer, and especially when he's got 20 KOs on his record as well. So just one last little look round the gloves, just so I can really sort of point out to you how soft and malleable they are. You know, look at that. I mean, that is a brand new glove. That is a brand new glove right there. Okay, so last thing I want to do before I sort of close up, now you're aware, you know, you've got most companies doing the puncher's glove, most companies doing the official sort of protective gloves. So Clayton Reyes with their horsehair, they've also got their Safe Tech. Grant has got an orthopedic foam, which is what Floyd Mayweather would wear. They've also got the same sort of horsehair puncher's gloves as well. Lots and lots of companies have two. It's not like it's just one. With regards to Pathan Sports, I haven't seen the horsehair version, the custom pair that Fury was wearing on sale. They normally do sell only the more protective ones there. Okay, so while I've got these gloves, and just so I can show you, it was said about the fist in the wrist, and I just want to, when I did it in the very first video, and I think I was using those red ones actually, I think I was using these soft gloves from Phenom, and people said, oh yeah, not using the correct glove. So if there, I've got my fist in the wrist. Now, obviously, Fury's hands are bigger than mine, even though I've tried to bulk my hands out with that padding on the Fortress Fast Straps. But as you can see there, if I push there, the fact that my fist is balled up in there makes it impossible to flop backwards. Okay, so the floppy footage where they were saying it's a fist in the wrist doesn't work, because that actually wedges it. I'm pushing hard onto that now, it's not even moving, and that is because that balled up fist is causing the glove to stay where it is. Of course, my theory on the of course, was that he had his hand a little lower down and that it was open. And of course, in that position, you can go, because of the flex of your wrist, you can go all the way back. Okay, so that is sort of the first thing that was said. And then, of course, recently we've had the claims of padding being removed from the gloves, and the fact that, one, it was sort of beveled, and also two, we had as it caught in the crook of the arm, we had that as well. So he punched him, it landed in the arm, and then it went like that and creased as well. There's your answer for both of those. But any sane people out there, and I know there is a lot of you will have already realised that Tyson Fury didn't remove any padding, he didn't have anything in the glove, and he certainly didn't have his fists in the wrists either. So the people that support those sort of conspiracy theories, and they are conspiracy theories, if you are supporting all three, I don't know how you're doing that, because obviously it's either got to be, if you're saying there's something in the glove, then it would show. If you're saying there's no padding in there, then how can you have something in the glove? If the fist's in the wrist, then what benefit would there be of having no padding in there, or having something in there if your fist was there? I don't know. I'm very confused by the whole thing, because every time that a theory gets sort of blasted off and professionals come out and say impossible, another wild theory comes out. But there you go, just wanted to show you the Everlast MX gloves, puncher's gloves, and so you now know the difference between puncher's gloves and the more protective fight gloves out there, both sanctioned. Hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe to Fit to Box channel, and I shall speak to you soon.